We are back again with another video. I know it's been a while. We've had a lot going on to begin this year. Things are moving in so many directions, but we finally got the chance to sit down and make another video. Now, today's subject is how to succeed in reselling in 2023. The landscape of reselling has changed, the game has changed. So you have to be ready to pivot. You have to be ready to change with the times. And that's what I'm going to touch on here in this video. As you know, the economy isn't in a great standing right now. We're heading towards a recession if we're not already in a recession. So things are changing from a financial standpoint and especially from a retail standpoint. These are going to be tips and points in which could help you expand and still flourish within these times that we're having as a reseller. The first thing that I want to touch on is something that I've actually touched on in previous videos, but it still applies to this day, okay? It's recession proof, and that's finding a niche and sticking and staying consistent within your niche. For us here in our store, we are located in Jacksonville, Florida. Our niche is the Jacksonville Jaguars. So no matter what, no matter how hard times get, we know for a fact that Jacksonville Jaguars merch and anything vintage Jaguars related will still be able to bring us in some income. So within your niche, especially in this time, you're going to want to market it very heavily. Always make sure that there is a demand there by constantly pushing out content, pushing out inventory pieces to the public so they know that you always have pieces that speak to your niche available. For us, there is not a time in which we are not buying Jaguars inventory because we know it's a quick turnaround and it's a way for us to make our money. So always, always, always speak to your niche and focus on your niche when you are building your brand. Your brand gets affiliated with that niche and it continues to grow with the content that you push out regarding it. For example, within our brand archives, we have a sub-brand called Duval Classics, which is basically all vintage Jaguars. Now, where we market most of our vintage Jaguar stuff is Twitter. Jacksonville Jaguars Twitter is one of the biggest fan base followings out there. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if you say, oh, you're a Jaguars fan, they have no fans. No, they 100% do. We have built a great clientele off of the backs of Jaguar Twitter because they want what we offer and we market to them through Twitter. So Twitter has become a platform in which we solely focus on vintage Jags merch, but also still building the brand of archives within Duval Classics. So it's almost flipped on Twitter because our niche is so specific and so popular on that platform. Our next point within this video is servicing your community. Get involved with your community. Always make sure that your community is aware of what you have going on, whether it's inventory, events. If you have to go out and do pop-ups and get involved with the community, get the brand name out there, do it. You always want the community to have your back. We've had trials and tribulations where things have kind of hit the fan recently with our Instagrams and some of our social medias, but no matter what, if our community knows who we are and our core value, like our core values as a brand, they will always support you. And that's kind of what we built our whole brand off of, is being a community platform for the people of Jax creatives. Clientele that love vintage and love sneakers, we've always tried to put them first and always been a location and a platform in which they can share their love for sneakers and vintage, but also help us build our brand. If you are in the position to have a store, if you have a brick and mortar location, it is vital to use it as a platform for creatives within your area or for people that share similar interests with what you're selling. It's substantial to growing your brand and expanding outside of your city. I mean, I've watched round 2 videos where Sean Wotherspoon is basically saying that he would not be able to have all these locations in Chicago, LA, New York if he didn't blow up in his city first. And by blowing up, he put Richmond first. He had their backs, he gave them a platform, He knew that he was building something within his city first, and then that's when he was able to expand to outside markets. So for example, for us, I mean, we do multiple things. One of our biggest events that we host is our vintage market. It's where we host about 6 or 7 local vendors from around the Jacksonville area to come in, be able to showcase their curation, sell to the public, and use our store as a platform to get their brand out there. That gives their following knowledge of the Archives brand. So they're now familiar with the Archives brand itself, but then it also gives that seller and that vendor love for us because we are giving them a platform to grow bigger than what they already were. Focus on your community. It is a staple and growing and expanding if you have aspirations of expanding. Now, if things do hit the fan, if things slow down, if things aren't going the way that you picture them to be going, the first people to have your back is going to be the community in which you're operating in. Believe it or not, your community is going to want to support small businesses. They want to see the community thrive, and the way that they thrive is by building small businesses within their area. You want to focus on your community first and service your community to know that you got them and they got you. One of the keys that I've learned very quickly in running and operating an actual brick and mortar location is adjusting your business model. You're gonna have to adjust, you're gonna have to change things. Things are gonna be thrown at you that you don't understand why they are, and you don't understand how it's actually gonna affect you right there at the moment, but it does. For example, for us, we literally had our main Instagram page shut down and taken away from Instagram, and we had to figure out how to pivot. We had to find ways to still be able to bridge that gap between us and our customers because we relied so heavily on Instagram being that platform to do so. Always try to adjust your business model to what is going on with yourself or your business at that moment. Now, there has been multiple ways in which we here at Archives have changed our business model already. In our 8 months of being open, we have changed substantially to be different than what we were when we originally opened, and kind of pivot from what our game plan was to grow the brand and expand, right? So when we first started, we weren't really selling online. Now today we're doing about 30 listings on eBay and our website. So we're constantly feeding the e-commerce side of what we're doing. When we had first opened, we were all store traffic based. We relied heavily on the store. That's not gonna cut it now with what's going on with our Instagram, with the economy. Times are changing. In 2023, you're gonna have to pivot, and eBay is a way that we have pivoted. If you guys want a video on the eBay side of things, I'll be glad to do that too, and kind of what's been working for us. I mean, we've built up probably 10K in about, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks of actually consistently listing on eBay. Like I said, I was selling on eBay before I even started opening a store, so I am very familiar with the eBay game and how it works. I'd be glad to help anybody out in that regard and what works for me. I know everybody has their own processes, but I'll share what we do to make eBay work consistently. If there is one takeaway from this entire video, if there's one point that is the most important, it's to do things that you wouldn't normally do. Get outside your comfort zone. Go to pop-ups within your community, local pop-ups. You're not, like for us, we didn't do that in the beginning. We thought we were trying to build a brand and be bigger than that, but that is not the case. You need to get involved with your community. Sell on eBay if you have to, sell on Mercari, Poshmark, whatever. Get some extra funds in. We're literally about to start something brand new next month, and that's Sell on Network, the platform. We got invited. I have a college friend who works there now that reached out to us and invited us to come sell on their platform, so we're gonna do that, you know? Anything to grow the brand, get the name out there, get some brand recognition from places that we weren't already in, or something different outside of what we were already doing. It doesn't have to be permanent. It doesn't have to be something that you're gonna do from here on out, but if things aren't going the way that you want them to, and it's not going as planned, then do things that you wouldn't normally do, okay? Now, the next point is to strengthen your brand, okay? And by strengthening your brand, it's expanding your brand. It's kind of what we've been touching on the whole time. By expanding our brand, what we've been doing is, one, adding proprietary merch into our store, adding things with our name on it and our brand on it, so people have that connection to the brand through pieces, not just Instagram or social media, through physical pieces, physical assets that they can come in and buy from the store. The reason that proprietary merch helps build your brand is because someone could come into our store and buy a $100, $150 AOP mosquito head t-shirt, but they could walk around with it and nobody would even know where they got it from. With the proprietary merch, if it has our name on it and it's a good design, it's something that sticks. For us, we make a lot of proprietary merch based off the Jaguars. So if it has that name attached to it, they know where they got it from. They know what brand is producing that piece. So focus on proprietary if you haven't already. Collabs are great too. Collabs with other brands, especially local brands within your community, because you get that person's or that brand's following to then know about what you have going on. So collabs are also a good way to grow brand as well. Now, the last point of this video is to expand your digital footprint. And we did a poor job of this when we first opened the doors here at Archives. We were solely focused on Instagram, and that turned around to bite us right in the ass, okay? So expand your digital footprint. Don't let one single platform be the end of everything if it goes away, okay? You need to be able to push content on every single platform, build up every platform. That way, if one does go away, you're still good and you still have a following to be able to build a bridge between potential customers. So don't put all your eggs in one basket, and expand your digital footprint, whether it's Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, whatever. Get your name out there and promote your brand on different platforms. I hope this video has given you guys some insight and some tips and some points of how to weather the storm if things do hit the fan, because they will. Not every day is gonna be a good day. Not every month is gonna be a good month, okay? Weather the storm. The way we've been doing it is the things that I just talked about. Don't give up. The consistency aspect of everything is the key ingredient to all of this. Stay consistent with your content, stay consistent with your sourcing, and stay consistent with believing in what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, okay? If you could, the support, so far, we've grown up our YouTube channel pretty well in a very short period of time. I promise you that we're gonna keep pushing content. I'm gonna practice what I just preached to you, okay? Content, content, content. So if you could like, comment, subscribe, that would mean a lot to us, because we are very set on giving you guys more content that relates to the things we just talked about.